Hello, model railroad fans. Welcome to Vintage Road and Rail. You know, when it comes to model railroading, things can get fairly expensive fairly quickly. A lot of times, if you want the most detail and a lot of the bells and whistles, your locomotives are going to start at a couple $100, and that's for just a DC model. If you want to add DCC and sound and all that stuff, you can easily get north of $300. But what if you are someone that's on a budget, you don't have that kind of money to spend on a locomotive, or you're just trying to keep your costs down? Well, there's always the option. You can do secondhand, and there's a lot of good secondhand locomotives that will run great for many, many years. I mean, for crying out loud, you can still find blue box locomotives from the 70s and 80s that with just a little bit of a tune-up will run like a champ, and you're going to be out 20, 30, maybe $40, especially for something like an F7 or the GP models. But what if you want something new? What if you're like, what, used is fine, but I want to get something brand spanking new. So how do you find a locomotive that's on a budget? Well, in perusing around on Amazon, I stumbled across this sometime back. It's been a while back. In fact, if you've watched some of my videos, I bought this one used. I got it for $25. And I did a review on it, but I did try to make note of the fact that it was used, and to kind of view it as such. But if you are wanting to buy something new for under $100, you can find these all over the place, brand spanking new, for around $70. This is a Walthers Trainline locomotive. It is a Norfolk Southern, and this is a GP15-1. So, is this your ticket? Is this going to give you some really good bang for the buck when it comes to buying something new, if you're trying to keep your costs down? Well, let's tear this packaging open, take a look inside, and kind of go over what it has, and then let's get it on the track, and let's see how it performs when it comes to running on a layout, shall we? All right, so no point in stopping the camera. Besides, I'm sitting down and I don't want to get up. All right, so we'll go ahead and open this, but before we do, let's look at the box. Well, I've already opened it, so too late for that. There really isn't much to speak of, and that's it. But this tells you what it is you're getting. And there are many others. If you go back and watch my video I did on the CSX, if I remember correctly, I mentioned some of the ones locomotives you can get, CSX being one, that Norfolk Southern we're about to look at, Canadian National. There's a few others, but I can't remember what they are. All right, so before we crack open, let me get this out of the way. It's kind of glaring. Let's take a look at the paperwork. There's not much, just this one little sheet here, but it folds out. So if we look at the front here, it tells you what it is you've got, and you get some information on servicing the locomotive. So we've got servicing, wheel cleaning, lubrication, oiling, and it shows you right here how to take your shell off. There will be 6 screws, unfortunately. I'm not real sure why it needed 6, but that's what it has. There'll be these 3 and then 3 on the front. I would have liked it if they could have just made it to where you only take out these 2 and you didn't have to, well, you kind of almost have to take the coupler off, so never mind that, because this blocks it. So, but a lot of locomotives, all you got to do is take the screw out that holds the coupler on, and then off you go. So, not sure why the overkill, but that body is not going to come off by accident. And then if we open it up, there's nothing. So let's flip it over, and we've got some troubleshooting tips. But here we get a look at the inside of the locomotive. So you can see we've got a little motherboard on there. This is DC only. It is not DCC ready, but the way they've got that wired up, it would be effortlessly, or you could do it effortlessly to put in a DCC decoder, especially if you were just doing motor control with lights, no sound. It would be, for lack of better words, drop in. I mean, there would be a little bit of work, but nothing too major. Now, I'm not sure if this is a 3 or a 5 pole motor. I've been unable to find out that information, so if someone knows for sure, please, by all means, let me know in the comments. But from what I've seen, online, some indicate that it could be a 5-pole. But we do have some flywheels. So we've got two, one on each side. And this is going to be all-wheel drive, all-wheel pickup. So it should perform pretty good. So that's the paperwork out of the way. So let's now take the plastic off the top and see what we get inside. So we got a little packet here. All right, we've got two snow plows. And I know by experience from my CSX that I already own, these don't just snap on. So you're going to have to glue them on into place, which kind of stinks. I would just assume they'd put them on from the factory, or at the very least make it on a budget locomotive like this to where you can snap it on. But for the price, you can't complain. So let's go ahead and get the styrofoam out of the way. And I like the styrofoam. May not be the most environmentally friendly stuff, but it will keep your locomotive secure. All right, well, here is a look at this GP15-1. Road number is 1446, and this is Norfolk Southern. And you can see, I love their little logo, how they kind of make that horse into the NS, and they have these little lines here. It's just, I really like it. I think it's nice. And the lettering seems to be pretty crisp. Now, all your detail is molded in, but you can see a lot of little panels, panel lines, vents, and things of that nature. And when you look, there's no detail really on your fuel tank, like an air tank or whatever right here. We got some molded in detail on your trucks, nothing fancy. If we go over onto the top, something I did not notice, but there's no horns. So this is, I guess, silent running. Let me kind of move this down so where you can catch the light. I don't think I noticed that on my CSX one. I'll have to take a look. And we got some molded in exhaust. And then we got some molded in vents for your radiator. And on the back, we've got a backup light. We've got number boards, but I don't think these number boards light up just the headlight, but it does reverse. And we've got metal for the knuckle couplers, which is interesting because I've bought higher end Walthers locomotives, like their mainline, and they come with plastic couplers. So that's interesting. We got more of the same on this side. Handrails they're pretty nice. Nothing to write home about, but they're pretty thick. They shouldn't be too awful sensitive. And then we go around to the nose, and we can see our coupler again, and we got our number boards, and we got our headlight. And I can't remember, but I think just the headlight comes on. And that's a walk around for this locomotive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video, and it's recommended to let this run a few minutes in either direction before really, putting some cars or something like that on there. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a run in, probably just a few minutes, and then we'll pick back up. And I'm going to start right off the gate, see if we can pull 15 cars. I thought before I would run it in, I would show you how it performs straight out of the box, just so you kind of know what to expect. And when I was getting ready to move the plastic that this locomotive was wrapped in, I didn't pay attention to this little white dot right here, but I saw a pair of horns laying on the plastic, so apparently they got jostled off in shipping. I bought this locally, so I think I'm going to take it down to my train store and see if they can swap it out. I mean, it was sold as new. I have not taken it out of the package, so that shouldn't be. But anyway, so let's get started here. So let's see how it does. You can see, you notice the light came on is pretty bright, so I think they've got some circuitry in there to make it to where it just comes on bright, but we'll see. But let's see how it sounds. A little bit of a whine, but fairly quiet. Now, I think that light does get brighter as it speeds up. So let's stop here and let's put it in reverse, and you'll see the backup light. And we'll bring it back around. Let's let it make a full lap, then I'll stop the video and then let it do its run in. Alright, while it's doing its run in, let's show you the cars we're going to pull. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and yeah, 15. And then a caboose. And you'll probably recognize these cars from my last video where I was running the thoroughbred train set, just seeing if it could do 15 cars. I did that for one of my viewers. Alright, let's stop right here and we'll pick back up after we've done a run in, and then I'll have all these on the track and we'll see how we do. I've given it a little bit of run in time, and I've now got a total of 16 cars if you want to count the caboose, 15 if you exclude the caboose. And we've got our locomotive here in the front. And if you watched my last video, you'll notice that these are the same cars. In fact, those last 2 cars and the caboose are from that thoroughbred train set. Alright, so let's see how she does. See if she can pull this. But I don't even think she's breaking a sweat. I don't hear any wheel slip. I think she's doing great. I see no hint of hesitation, struggle. Let's get down here, see if we... She is pulling that just fine. I'm half tempted to throw a couple of more cars on here. Well, let's let it go for a couple of laps, and while it's running I'll shut up and just film the train, and while it's doing that I'll think about whether I want to add a couple more cars. We need to get the city out to take a look at that light right there. I think the bulb is going bad. What do you think? I don't know, I think we could get 3 cars on there. Tell you what, let's go ahead and see if we can put a few more cars on there. Why not? Well, we got 19 cars, 20 if you want to count the caboose. These are all 40 footers. The amount of cars that you can fit in this space are going to depend upon the length of your cars. Like I said, it might have been the previous video, 40 footers is probably about the longest I really want to run on this layout. Maybe get away with 55 or 50 foot. But you can see right there, when this locomotive comes around, we're going to have a very nervous conductor inside that caboose. So let's see if this locomotive can pull a total of 20 cars. I didn't hear a hint of struggle. She can pull 20 cars just fine. No problem. In fact, if you're on a big layout like this, that would be fine. But on a 4x8 like this, 20 cars, you're probably borderlining kind of ridiculous. On this one, because it's twice around, it may not be too bad, but it looks really silly when you get in here and you've got a train that wraps all the way around the little town. You know, so on a layout of this size, probably want to kind of stick with maximum maybe 10 cars just for aesthetics. But oh, they missed. All right, but it's your railroad, you know. Run as many as you want. Make it as ridiculous as you want. I mean, I know there are people out there that are prototypical. They're probably screaming at the TV, going, "What?" But model railroading is supposed to be fun. And if running a train that looks ridiculous makes you happy, well, that's all that matters. Just letting you kind of enjoy watching the trains. What? Okay. You know the people in that caboose are having a heart attack. Alright, model railroad fans, that's a look at this Walthers Trainline GP15-1. I've got to say, if you're looking for something under $100 brand new, this is going to be your ticket. It's running pretty quiet, pulls great. It's not even offering a hint of trouble. I mean, now in my last video we did look at the thoroughbred train set again, and it was, I don't think I put this many cars on there, but I did 15. And for a budget locomotive, it ran great and everything as well. But the difference is this you can get all day long at 70 bucks. If you shop around, you might even be able to find it for, you know, as cheap as 60. Whereas the Bachmann F9, or F7s rather, their MSRP is 150 bucks. So you're generally not going to find it for under 100. Now if you want to get it with the train set, it's $120 price you can often find it for. Is not bad. But if you're just looking for something other than an F7 or just wanting to add another locomotive to your fleet, I believe this will be your ticket. Highly recommend it. This is my second one. Well, alright, model railroad fans, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this Walthers Trainline GP15-1. If you did, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more stuff coming up. Going to soon be filming a bit of an operating session on this layout. I think about 7 locomotives I can put on here. So I'm going to load this thing up as much as I can, and we'll just spend a few minutes running trains. Alright, well until next video, happy model railroading guys. Take care.